Good morning and welcome to the Mayor's Weekly News Conference. On this week's agenda, we're going to talk about the announcement of the opening of the application for the city's first ever flagship micro grant fund, an overview of the summer rec program budget and the number of summer help employees hired by the city, an explanation of the city's fireworks ordinance as well as state laws governing residential fireworks and the safety implications, some impressions from the Welcoming America Conference, and a preview of an upcoming Mayor's Conference on Opportunity Zones. And now I'll turn it over to the Mayor.
Thank you, Renee. Good morning, everyone. We're really excited to announce the first ever open application period for the City of Erie's flagship fund. The City of Erie's, it's our very first ever micro grant program for small businesses. I want to thank Chris Groner for coming up with this idea and really getting it in place. The Flagship Fund is a self-funded grant fund developed at the beginning of this year through the city's Economic and Community Development Department. The fund uses interest generated by economic development financing through the City of Erie's Business Development Revolving Loan Fund. The department will continue to grow that pot by finding ways to increase our grant-making capabilities moving forward. The Flagship Fund was established to provide financial assistance to support market-ready products and services that enhance the city's reputation for innovation and creativity. Also contribute to a thriving, sustainable business culture and improve the quality of life for residents of the City of Erie. We see this as one tool that will enable us to work towards our vision for Erie that includes an abundance of good family-sustaining jobs. Now I'd like to turn the podium over to Brett Weiler, our Business Development Officer, to provide additional details. Brett?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for that overview. I'm going to get into a little bit more of the details of the Flagship Fund. Startups and established businesses in the City of Erie from any sector are welcome to apply. Funding awards will be granted up to $5,000. A 1-to-1 funding match is required, and grant dollars will be awarded on a reimbursement basis. The official application period will open on July 1st and will run through July 31st. We anticipate reviewing applications and making a decision mid-August with an official announcement later that month. We expect for this period to award anywhere from 3 to 5 grant award winners. We developed this grant for several reasons. First, to encourage the establishment, growth, and retention of sustainable businesses which enhance the City of Erie's reputation for innovation, creativity, business vitality, diversity, inclusiveness, quality of life, and environmental sustainability. Second, to create employment opportunities and increase the level of business investment in the city. And third, to support innovative businesses that demonstrate solid market potential, a sound business model, including long-term financial viability. So who is eligible to apply? First, you must be a registered business in the Commonwealth of PA with a physical address within the City of Erie. You must have 10 or fewer employees and an average annual revenue less than $500,000 a year. There are a few other additional details, and those can be found at www.theflagshipfund.com. So what types of projects are we going to be looking for? Eligible projects will include, but are not limited to, marketing and advertising expenses, facade and building improvements, specialized equipment, computer hardware and/or software, website development, consultation costs, security cameras, exterior lighting and/or signage, internship stipends, and strategic succession or new market development planning. As I mentioned earlier, the first open application period will open July 1st and run through July 31st. You're able to apply online at theflagshipfund.com, or you can contact myself or Chris Groner at City Hall for a paper application. In regards to the application, we created what we believe is an application that will not be time and resource intensive. We understand that business owners are busy enough, so we crafted 3 straightforward questions on the application. The first, we ask that you explain your project and how you plan to use the matching funds if awarded. Pretty straightforward. We want to know how your project will enhance the city's reputation for innovation and creativity, contribute to a thriving, sustainable business culture, and improve the quality of life for residents of the City of Erie. And third, we want to know how these funds will enable you to grow your business, expand and/or retain your workforce, and lead to new market opportunities. Once the application period is closed, an internal City Hall committee will vote and determine the application award winners. We hope to make a decision in mid-August with an announcement, most likely at this press conference, sometime at the end of August. And one last important note, while we can only fund 3 to 5 projects at this time, we plan on providing direct feedback to all applicants, whether they are awarded or not. We want to communicate to them how to strengthen their application for next time and provide any useful feedback on how to better access resources or programs to bring their proposed project to fruition. We also invite questions during the application period and afterwards. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Chris. It's really an exciting program. We're looking forward to seeing the applications come in. I'm really excited about this and the prospects for what it's going to bring in terms of building more opportunity and creating more opportunity here in Erie. The second topic today is I'd like to highlight some of the Erie's Summer Rec program, which is starting this week actually, just started. For instance, the Footlights Theater program and the Brian Lee Crosby Memorial Learn to Swim program are both offered for free to the community and are an important part of making sure kids stay safe and healthy throughout the summer. From tennis to basketball and dance to Tai Chi, these activities serve to strengthen communities and give our children a place to learn and grow outside of school. This year, the city will spend about $890,000 on these important programs. This week also marks the start of the Summer Jobs program here in the city, through which 155 participants will spend the summer working in the Public Works Department. The majority of these workers are youths, and who will gain valuable soft skills through the experience of their summer job. The pay ranges from $8 to $10 an hour, depending on what the job is and the skill level of the individual. Through the experience, students will get financial literacy coaching as well as they develop their interpersonal skills and proper etiquette at work. We often hear from adults who participated in the summer recreation program in the past during their youth, and that they found this experience truly life-changing. These programs and events truly make Erie a community where people will choose to live, work, and play. I want to thank Dave Mulvihill, who's here, and Chuck Zisk, who's also here from our Public Works Department, also Connie Cook. Did Connie come in? Didn't see her. And really the whole team for making this happen again this year. Our third item for this morning is we want to draw attention to the state laws and ordinances governing residents shooting off fireworks, as well as some of the safety implications of that. Recently, we've been getting a lot of complaints actually from residents about fireworks being set off in their neighborhoods. The new state ordinance allows for the purchase of fireworks within the state, but does not change existing safety ordinances by the state or the city. The state ordinances actually prohibit lighting fireworks within 150 feet of any structure. That eliminates really the majority of the city from places you can legally set off fireworks. And based on this, you might think, well, we'll go to a park that's 150 feet from a structure. But there's also a city code that says fireworks or explosives are prohibited in city parks as well. So we generally have to say that shooting off fireworks is illegal within the city limits. It's also a violation of the fireworks law to use fireworks while under the influence of alcohol or controlled substances. Next, I'd like to bring up Chief Guy Santone, who's here with us, to prevent some of the safety implications in incorrectly setting off fireworks. Chief Santone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Before I get into the safety aspect of this, the career fire chiefs throughout Pennsylvania, we lobbied, including myself, we lobbied very hard against this law. We lost, but the reason we lobbied against it was because we knew that injuries and fires were going to go up. It's just, this is the way it works. Another reason was we can't understand why they would want to put explosives in people's hands. To us, that doesn't make any sense. As fire departments throughout the state or the country, our job is to prevent things from happening. And for them to allow people to have this in their hands doesn't make any sense to us. So, having said that, some of the safety things that you can do to prevent injuries is, number one, like the mayor says, do not use fireworks if you're under the influence of alcohol or any kind of drug. Try to wear eye protection, and if your kids are going to be using the sparklers, make sure that you have gloves on them, because they do burn at 1200 degrees. Always have a garden hose nearby or a fire extinguisher. And if you have the fireworks that did not go off, don't attempt to restart it. You're just asking for problems there. And also, just as important is when you're finished with the fireworks, make sure you have a metal container filled with water and take all your used fireworks and put it in there and make them soak for at least a few hours. We have had fires in the past, quite a few for that matter, because people would discard them in their plastic garbage can, and next thing you know, 3 hours later, we're putting their house out because it was on fire. There's roughly 18,500 fires per year on 4th of July. Anywhere roughly 230 injuries per day in the month of July. Hand injuries are the most prevalent. They're like 40%. Then you have your face and eye take up a lot of that, and burns. And one thing, don't forget, take care of your pets when you're shooting off fireworks, because dogs, for some reason, are affected big time by fireworks. If you can, put your animals in an interior room in your house. Make sure the doors are closed. Try to protect them, because it really freaks them out. And if you are compelled to do fireworks, on July 3rd, there's 2 places you can go to watch fireworks. Erie Seawolves are going to have fireworks after the game, and the big one down at Dobbins Landing, which we encourage everybody to go to, is going to be a show like you've never seen before. I've seen this show before. It's outstanding, so we encourage everybody to go. And finally, the Erie Fire Department hopes everybody has a happy and safe 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Some really, really good advice. Really appreciate that. If displays are taking place in your neighborhood illegally, please call the police non-emergency number, which is 870-1125, and provide the address of the disturbance so the police can investigate. Please do understand that our police officers may be busy with, serious crimes, and they may not be able to respond to every call, but if fireworks are going off in your neighborhood illegally, you should call that number. Again, it's 870-1125. Next, I want to bring up Nika Nastari Carpenter so she can share some of her impressions from the Welcoming America Conference that she just got back from attending in Louisville, Kentucky. She was there Monday through Wednesday. In fact, she got in last night about 11 p.m., but she was here bright and early, smiling and chipper and ready to go. And we're really happy that she's going to share with us some of her initial impressions of this conference. During last week's press conference, I mentioned how proud we are of Nikan. She received 2 scholarships to actually attend this conference. This week, I want to congratulate Nikan also on being recognized in the Erie Reader's 40 Under 40. She's right on the cover if you haven't seen a copy of the Erie Reader yet. Last but not least, I'd like to thank, I'm reading Nikan's instead of mine. As it was noted in the Erie Reader, Nikan went from selling ice on the streets in her hometown in Indonesia as a child to attending law school and becoming a member of the Indonesian Supreme Court as a judge. After coming to Erie, she married Alan Carpenter, and Nikan got a job shelving books at the Erie Public Library. She also then obtained her master's degree in project management from Penn State University. Nika was having trouble finding meaningful work, But she quickly made connections and friendship, and as people got to know her, they realized how smart, capable, and caring she is as a person. When we were searching for my executive assistant last December, we interviewed Nikin. We knew quickly she was not only the right person for that job, but she could also serve in a brand new role here in the city as our liaison to new Americans. I'm grateful that she has accepted a position on our team. Nikin is one of the most caring people I've ever met. She has accomplished more in these first 5 months than I ever imagined our refugee and immigrant liaison would be able to do. So without further ado, let's welcome Nikin Astari Carpenter.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Well, the pressure for being the first ever refugee and immigrant liaison is no kidding. But the Welcoming America conference was a great opportunity for me to learn. During the closing session, Ambassador Atallah Sabas, that's the daughter of Malcolm X, the legend Malcolm X, she asked question to everybody. Was your original intention coming to this conference had been met? And I said it directly to her, yes. This is why. It was a mind-blowing event. I thought it was just going to be 75 or 100 people, but there were like about 500 people convened. There's so many information going on. People coming from different counties, different cities, profit and non-profit organizations, school districts, journalists. And I tried to make as many connections as I could. I ran out all my business cards on Tuesday morning already. So anyhow, I heard so many great ideas around the participants, the speakers, and I'm excited to sit down with the mayor and the team to debrief them of what I learned and brainstorm what we can do here in Erie. And to my surprise, all the requirements listed, the things that are listed as a requirement to be a welcoming city, we are already doing it here in Erie. And that really makes me feel good about Erie. I think Erie is a welcoming city after all. We just want to make it even more welcoming. So thanks to Welcoming America for the scholarships. Really appreciate that. And last but not least, if you read the article about me on Erie Readers 40 Under 40s, it's because of my husband, Alan Carpenter, and Chief of Staff, Renee Lamis, for nominating me to Erie Readers 40 Under 40s. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for believing me. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikin. And I'd just like to end with one last thing, which is I'm going to be going to a conference next Monday or Tuesday that we found out about at the end of last week, actually. Bruce Katz and Jeremy Nowak, who are the authors of The New Localism, were here in town for a couple events with the Jefferson Society, and I was at those, kind of got to know them, and Bruce then contacted me after we left town with a text saying that there was this conference coming up. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's with about 20 mayors from around the country, and it's about the opportunity zones, which is the new federal legislation that was recently in the paper as well, that we have 8 of our census tracts that were approved as opportunity zones, and it's a real it's an opportunity for us to really grow business in low to moderate income areas as well. So I'm looking forward, number one, to getting to network with about 20 other mayors, some of whom are from cities similar to Erie. For instance, the mayor of South Bend, Indiana is there. I spent a couple years in Dayton, Ohio. The mayor of Dayton is going to be there. So I'm looking forward to that connection. Also, I'm really looking forward to learning more about opportunity zones, because it's a new thing. We're actually still waiting for kind of the rules of the road in terms of what we need to do with that. But we do think it's a real opportunity to have a lot more growth particularly in the downtown, the Bayfront, and the east, to, the kind of the old Hammermill site out there where SB3 is now, all the way over to GE. We've got a lot of business tracts of land there, and we're looking forward to developing them. So let me see if I missed anything. I think that will conclude what we're going to talk about today, formally in the press conference, but certainly all of us that spoke will be available for interviews afterwards. I do want to thank Kathy Shaw from City Council for being here, also Teresa, our controller, for being here as well. Thanks to all the rest of you as well. Thanks a lot, and we're available for interviews.